Test, other test. Hi there, Julian. I'm Jean, by the way. And so I was listening to your video, Nationalism, Socialism, Money, God, and Naziism. And I loved it, honestly. But I also hated it in so many ways. So I have a bunch to say about a whole lot of many aspects to it. Um, Money is one thing that you talk about, and I kind of love how you talked about it in this video. But there's one thing, is the trash picking that you talked about, and I tried as a young man to pick up like all the trash, all the trash I could, and I came to realization at a moment that that's something that needs to be decentralized in a way. Like everyone needs to take the trash everywhere, everywhere they go, and it's impossible really because if you start like walking with a trash bag and you pick everything you see, you'll fill the trash bag, and then you'll fill another, and then another, and soon those trash bags are gonna cost you something because you have to buy them, and then but you'll also make money from it because people are going to see like, oh, you picked all around my shop, I'm going to transfer you some money for that work you just did, and like you helped me. And so all that starts happening when you start picking up trash. So, and it's great, but you can spend a full day, let's say, cleaning up a whole roadside of all the little cigarette butts, and the whole other side. So you do one side and the other side. That takes about 5 hours. Let's say it's like all the sun time you have. You have to go eat something or whatever, and then you go do something else. You know how it is. Where was I? So anyway, it's costly. So then you can like, let's say, oh, like let's hoard money. That's what you were reproaching people do, and fair enough. Fair enough. Really, people do hoard money and they do terrible stuff with it, and it's not necessarily what we want them to do with it, which you underline in your video. And but you want your neighborhood to be clean. People that have hoarded money want their neighborhood to be clean, and so you know they kind of want to pay someone for it, but they don't go out there and be like, oh, I'm gonna pay a garbage picker to pick the garbage on my street or whatever. But that be the solution, really. People want an app. What can I tell you? They want an app, okay? And so I have code that's going towards it, but like making an app, that's is the same thing. This is the same thing. Like you can go pretty far yourself, but it's a lot of time. It's the same thing. People want a pile of money so they can burn the pile slowly whilst they learn the thing they need to learn, so then they can like benefit others but also make their money back from the pile that they just burned. So, I mean, all the like there's a way of thinking that everything is free, okay? and and I love that because everything is free. And Tesla was right on to it. He invented some hydroelectric three-phase motor that would harness the power of the tides. Not even the tides, the just the flow of water, and we have a bunch of them in Quebec, and it was meant as kind of free electricity. Obviously, there's an upkeep, but it's almost free, right? Ends up costing us a whole percentage of what we make, right? But that was the original idea with it. And so it's the same thing. It's like we have to pay to have the trash cleaned up in some way. It needs to be decentralized. People that are old and that don't have energy to pick up the trash, they need to be able to pay someone else, but they don't do it. I don't know. There's no vitality in it. But pick up people that are young themselves. They wouldn't want to lower themselves and pick up trash. So at the end of the day, I think if there would be an app, you would pin on the location of the map. Oh, here's a lot of garbage, and you take pictures and whatever, and yeah, that's a contract. people could then say like, oh, I want this pin to be collected, and then if someone collects it, I'm gonna pay like $5, and then you you have all these pins on the map. If you're homeless, yeah, every homeless people, they have phones and they have a plan, and yeah, they do have the data on it. They can use a phone, okay, and so they can install the app and see like, oh, there's $5, there's $10 here, and then they get that like kind of vibe. But it's money related, you know. You said like money not the greatest thing, you not must not chase money, and that's fair. But also like how you mustn't share like seek money if then you have to pay for like being alive, you know. So it's like you have to kind of seek it, you have to kind of hoard it, you have to hoard it to a point where it doesn't matter anymore, where you can invite someone for a great supper because you're not thinking about like, oh well, he's gonna eat with us, and then that's gonna be money, and then or we're gonna be like more like, you know, that's ruining people's lives, money. And so you're right, but then people also needs to have enough so that they don't have to worry about that. I met lots of homeless people that got kicked out of their home because of money. So it's all, everything is in everything. The root of the thing is a problem, but then we have to fix ourselves so then we can fix the problems within us, which will enable us to fix the problem in general, so like around us, starting by our locality, and then like people mimicking each other, like COVID, you know, people went crazy and then it was a chain reaction, and the other people went crazy, and then there was a tipping point where then it was scary. But that's the same type of deal, but in positive way, you know. So yeah, and so that's one thing. That's a money aspect and everything, garbage picking. And something else I was thinking about was your the middle. You have nationalism, you have socialism, and I love your description of both. I do agree with it. I do agree also with the definition of Naziism, which is a kind of it's almost egalistic, you know. They're seeking the perfect middle position of both. Like you go in an extreme on one end, you go in an extreme on another, and then you want to synthesize, like, well, Nazism, as you said. But then that depends how you see a centrist. To me, someone who holds the middle position is someone who isn't convinced by anything. So to be like a Nazi, you need to be so convinced by those two positions that you hold the position in the middle. But then you're also holding the positive entropy from those two things, you know, because you have the entropy of, okay, let's go defend our country, which is a whole lot of energy. People are almost like turn. It's not racist. It's just that some other people make money by replacing our labor pool because cheap labor. So that's all the energy towards nationalism, and it's to the point where people they think chemtrails, Tartaria. There's like people go deep, and lots of it is bullshit. Lots of it is kind of true in some way and kind of false in other ways. And, but you have a lot of entropy, and I don't like if you walk into a house, okay, and like everyone's doing like chaotic shit, right? That's not peaceful. But there's a lot of entropy. So Nazism is like maximum entropy, and to me, centrism is like it's not minimum entropy, but it's close to it. Like it's minimum necessary force. Like we're gonna analyze the problem and determine what we should do about it, not like later than it should be, and like do it. And we're gonna spend the money to do it because that's what it costs, and we're gonna do it properly. But then that's it. If nothing needs to be done, we just don't do anything, you know. And there's lots of stuff I see, like that maybe we shouldn't spend the money on, you know. That maybe we're like taking the money from people that kind of do need it. And also, that's something else I hated about your video. That's something else that called me, you know? You said you said that, oh, your tax, okay? But like then, oh no, but I shouldn't have to give you the money. And then you said like something like, well, you should care about that money. But then at the end of the day, how it works often for lots of us is that you end up the year and they're like, right, you owe us like $2,400. And then we're gonna run interest on that money, right? And so yeah, just like give it, you know. And then let's say in your life you don't have that money, and you're like, oh shit, I don't have that money. I'm actually paycheck to paycheck. I'm having trouble like making ends meet, and now I have an extra like $2,400 expense. That's how most people live their lives, you know. So and so I was like, how could you say that, man? Because I know for most people it comes out of your paycheck like automatically, you know, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the year, you don't owe them shit because of that. But then if you're self-employed, if you're a small business that's just like starting, you know, that's not how it works. Lots of our worker are actually self-employed, and so it ends up being a pain in the butt, you know, and all that too. I don't know why personally. And so yeah, I loved your video. I love all the end part of it, you know, because I don't do that. I don't read enough scripture to be able to interpret like you do. But the I love the words, you know, you use and how you analyze them and go deep into it. That's how we should use language. And we should seek to find the neutrality of words. Every word has a connotation. People is like, oh, propaganda is bad. We prefer to say sensibilization, but then that's the same thing. Sensibilization is propaganda with a positive connotation, but it comes to the same thing. It's you're sharing information in a way that is going to be sticky, and that's going to be sticky whether or not you know that that's what it is. You know, if you know that something is propaganda, it's going to be sticky still. And so yeah, it's we should be using the words if they're as if they're neutral or their original meaning, and for that lots of work has to be done. But then like you do, man, you take a word and you make like you tell maybe 5 or 6 paragraph on one word. That means you gave all that depth to that word. And that's powerful because now we're talking with the depth of the words. And, well, in the beginning was the word, you know? Peace.